Good evening. The government has announced details of a contract worth more than £250 million for Leonardo helicopters in Yeovil. The deal will see the company, previously known as Augusta Westland, providing service and training support for the UK military's Wildcat helicopters.
Well, while the government says it'll safeguard up to 500 jobs, a union says it's old news, and in any case it does little to safeguard the long-term future of the Yeovil site. Our Somerset correspondent Clinton Rogers reports.
All smiles. The minister in charge of buying things for the armed forces came to Yeovil keen to trumpet today's announcement as great news for the local economy, in particular the workforce here.
It's a deal that will secure the cutting-edge aircraft for the Royal Navy and for the Army, and I know it will support hundreds of skilled jobs right across the southwest.
It's all about these helicopters, the Wildcat, 62 of which were made in Yeovil for service in the British Navy and Army. Now the contract is valued at £271 million, and it's essentially for the maintenance of the helicopters for the next 5 years. But actually what was announced today was just the latest stage of a 30-year contract that was signed back in 2012, so critics argue it's really recycling old news, and that in any case, what this place really needs is new orders for new aircraft. And yet, last year, the Ministry of Defence decided not to let Leonardo build the new Apache attack helicopter, preferring instead Boeing of America.
The big prize was the Apache order. Of course, that went to America, and this almost feels like it's second best.
All the aircraft in this production shed are here for maintenance or upgrades. Right now, there are no new orders. The company says it is talking to countries around the world.
Not firm orders yet, but like any business such as ours, we know where the customer is and we know what their requirements are, and we're working very hard to land those orders this year.
There remains a question mark over the equipment used to make the airframes for the Wildcat, amid suggestions that could be moved to a factory in Poland, even though the equipment is actually owned by the British government. The minister says no decision's been made yet. Clinton Rogers, BBC Points West in Yeovil.
Well, fears about the future of the plant were aired in Parliament today. Paddy Ashdown, the former MP for Yeovil, told the House of Lords of his concerns that jobs might go overseas. And afterwards, he went into our Westminster studios to tell me more.
So look, we're polite folk in Yeovil. We love it when a minister comes down from London to visit us, but I'm honestly not terribly certain why she did. I mean, these aren't new orders she was announcing. They're old orders secured by David Laws in the coalition years of 2012. What she could be doing is insisting that the kit that the Ministry of Defence owns, that is the tooling and jigs for these, is not allowed to go to Poland with the jobs unless there is a proper study that takes into account all the factors about where the commercial advantage lies. My view is that if such a study were to take place, Yeovil would be shown to be just as competitive as Poland, and I can't understand why for the last 6 weeks pressing the minister she refuses to do this.
So do you think by the kit going off to Poland, that spells the end of manufacturing in Yeovil? That's your thought?
No, of course it doesn't. But it means that 200 jobs which could be sustained in Yeovil, if Yeovil is indeed competitive, and I think if you looked at the facts in detail, you'd see that they were, those 200 jobs would stay in Yeovil, stay on the Yeovil site, and add to the viability of the Yeovil site in what are very difficult economic terms. I mean, the government promises that it will do everything it can in this post-Brexit era to keep jobs in Britain. But why will they not then do a proper study to ensure that the jobs can be kept on the Yeovil site and don't unnecessarily have to be shipped off to Poland? That's the question.
But surely having a maintenance contract is not a bad deal after all, is it?
Well, of course it's not. Of course it's not, Seb. I mean, having a maintenance contract is fine, but it's not what Yeovil's done for 100 years. What Yeovil's done for 100 years has been an aircraft manufacturer. And by the way, some of the most world-beating aircraft for the service of our armed forces. That's not just assembly and not maintenance. It's the design, it's the technology, it's the engineering, all of those high-class design teams, for which Yeovil is now a centre of the aerospace industry industry will be damaged if Yeovil's allowed to dribble away and to become just a maintenance and assembly area. I'm determined that won't happen. And I'm sure that the people of Yeovil will believe that if the government isn't prepared to go the last mile to ensure that jobs which could be kept in Yeovil are kept in Yeovil, many people will regard that as frankly, Seb, an insult to the technicians and skilled engineers who for 100 years in Yeovil have provided world-beating aircraft for the armed services. You know, they deserve better than that.
Lord Paddy Ashdown, thank you.